Welcome back. It is time for our strategists to weigh in on a segment we like to call Two Sides.
We love this segment. And from the left, we welcome Dale Butland. And from the right, we welcome Republican strategist Bob Clegg.
All right, guys, welcome.
Hey, thank you. The rules for this segment, very, very simple, as we know. We put 15 seconds up on the clock, right?
Simple
and then,
for you.
And then when you hear the ding, that's it. That's over.
All right, so let's get right to it. First question goes to Bob Clegg.
Yeah.
Will Mitt Romney's response to the hidden camera footage of him talking about 47% of the electorate stick in the mind of independents in November? Is he becoming Thurston Howell III?
Well, I think he was talking about people who are dependent on government and have a vested interest in government becoming bigger and bigger. What I think Mitt Romney realizes, and we all do, that we really don't want government that big, that much intruding in our lives. I think he's handled it well so far.
Okay.
What we got was a window into Mitt Romney's soul at a time when he thought the only people listening were his rich pals at a $50,000 plate fundraiser in Boca Raton. The problem for him is it confirms the stereotype. What people have thought about him for a long time, an out-of-touch, rich guy who doesn't care about anybody. He doesn't even like half the country he wants to lead.
Dale, historically high unemployment rate, jobless problem under this president will once again take center stage in October.
Yeah, well, the economy is Mitt Romney's one shot. The problem is, in order for him to capitalize and convince people that Obama hasn't cleaned up the Republican mess quickly enough, he's got to have new ideas for reviving the economy. What he's got is the same old Bush policies that got us into this mess. More tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires and less regulation for Wall Street.
Well, the president's presiding over the worst economy that we've had in decades, and nothing's getting better. We have more people going on Social Security disability because they aren't even on unemployment anymore. And I think what's going to happen with the October numbers, it's going to confirm that we're even doing worse.
So, Bob, on the Ohio airwaves, who's winning in this battle over China?
Well, you know what? I think Romney's won because the president's actually doing something finally about China. He's been in office now almost 4 years, and it took a Romney campaign commercial to get him to finally say to China, gee, maybe we better do something about this trade problem that we have. So I think because of that, I think Mitt Romney's probably won that battle.
What do you think?
Well, to quote the sainted Ronald Reagan, Bob, there you go again. Mitt Romney's attack doesn't pass the straight face test, not only because President Obama has brought more trade cases to the WTO against China in 4 years than George W. Bush did in 8, but also because when Romney was chairman of Bain Capital, he sent thousands of jobs over to China.
Dale, I'm going to let you take the first whack at this one. Is former Reagan speechwriter Peggy Noonan correct in an article she wrote this week that the Romney campaign is not working and it needs an intervention?
Absolutely. This has been a terrible month. First, Mitt Romney insulted the Brits. Then he got upstaged by Clint Eastwood talking to a chair. Then he made those intemperate remarks after the ambassador was killed. Now he's called half the country layabout parasites.
You know what's interesting? Over all the two we've had from last week and this week, the Gallup tracking poll went from a +6 Obama to dead even today. So, Dale, I don't think the American people is buying that very much.
And you didn't use all your time for that answer.
Yeah, I never do.
But it's gone now.
That's right. 14 years ago, Obama said, I actually believe in some redistribution, at least at a certain level, to make sure that everybody's got a shot. That proves he has socialist leanings?
Oh, like that's a shocker. I mean, look what happened with Joe the plumber in Toledo just in the last campaign. I mean, this guy wants to get everybody's money and he wants to spread it around. And to prove it, Obamacare, we just find out from the Congressional Budget Office, is going to raise taxes on 6 million people. And you know what 80% of those 6 million people are? Middle class.
Joe the plumber and Mitt Romney have a lot in common. They can't tell the truth. Joe the plumber's name is not Joe, and he's not a plumber. The Washington Post looked at this charge on the redistribution thing. They gave it 4 Pinocchios. They said when you look at it in context, it's clear that Obama's words were taken completely out of context.
Who's running the better Senate campaign, Sherrod Brown or Josh Mandel?
Sherrod Brown is going to win, not only because Josh Mandel is not competent, but also because he can't tell the truth. We're talking about lies. We're talking about lies here. The Politifact fact checker, the plain dealer, has given Josh Mandel 6 Pants on Fire awards. He's got so many Pants on Fire awards, he is in danger of being mistaken for the underwear bomber.
No, Dale, you're the only one talking about lies. You're the only one talking about lies. When Democrats don't like the facts, they say they're lies. The fact is, Sherrod Brown can't get above 50%, and he's been on the ballot for almost 40 years. Give me a break. People know. He votes for Obamacare, deciding vote. People don't like it. They're not going to vote for somebody like that. You can't talk yet.
Now I can. Is that why 5 polls have Brown ahead by 7 points?
One last question. Romney and Obama return to Ohio this week. Do all these visits change anybody's mind?
Maybe. What it does, it gets both of their bases excited, and that's what they're doing it for. I mean, what we're seeing from this election, there's very few undecided people. I don't know how many. I mean, they get maybe their attention for a little while, but their attention is going to go to more normal things like football and things like that.
They probably don't change many votes, but neither candidate can afford to have voters, particularly in swing states, think they don't care enough about them to be here, which is why I don't understand why Romney hasn't been doing more of these events. On Wednesday, he did his first public event in 5 days. I don't get it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you.
A lot of fun. That was great. Thanks for joining us.
That does it for Capitol Square. Remember, if it's Ohio politics, it's right here at Capitol Square. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and send us an email.